talking about bees. How many bees do you have?
Well, I have 3 hives, and each hive has thousands and thousands of bees. I don't even know how many because I can't count them. But each hive has exactly 1 queen, and the queen is the mother of all the other bees in the hive. She lays the eggs, so she's the mother of them all.
See the beauty of the evening sunset, but the beauty of you, sweet as honey from the honeycomb, sweet are the grapes from the vine. There's nothing as sweet as you, darling, and I hope someday you'll be mine.
Orange and yellow.
So you can kind
So
of
they're
tell
bringing
them
in
into different
pollen.
flowers?
They bring in,
Pollination.
yeah, they bring pollen and nectar from the flowers. And they eat the pollen, that's their protein. They get protein from the pollen of the flowers. And then the nectar is their energy, so it's like sugar water. And they take the nectar, that's sugar water, and then they condense it down, like when you make gravy and then you make it thicker. They kind of do the same thing, and it turns into honey. I said that really I don't make any honey, the bees do. I just take it from them.
Well, I've seen the beauty of the red, red rose, seen the beauty when the skies are blue, seen the beauty of the...
How long have you had bees?
For a little over 2 years. I got my first hive 2 years ago, and then I got 2 more hives last year.
What are the queen bees' names?
Well, I call them all Wilhelmina. They're named after my grandma.
How much honey do they make?
Well, each hive can make over 40 pounds of honey in 1 year. So last year from this hive I got more than 40 pounds of honey. The other ones I didn't get that much. But that's a lot of honey, and we've been selling it, and we just sold the last of it from last year.
How often do you check them?
During the summer, about every once a week or every 2 weeks. In the winter, you just kind of leave them alone for most of the winter because you don't want to open it up and let all that cold air in there.
Have you ever gotten stung?
Lots of times. I get stung whenever I get in there because I open it up and I'm pulling the things out and looking at them. And I wear one glove, but I usually don't wear a glove on my other hand so I can touch things. And I almost always get stung when I get in there.
I got stung once right here.
Yeah. You know, for some people, the more they get stung, the worse it gets. And for some people, the more they get stung, the better it gets. I barely feel it now. If I get stung, it just hurts for a second. The most important part, you don't want to get stung on your head.
Do they hibernate?
No, they don't. They stay active all winter long, and they have honey that they eat, and what they do is, it's called clustering. So they form a cluster, and they eat honey and keep each other warm by just eating honey and moving around each other in a ball in the middle of the hive all winter long.
What do you feed them?
Well, mostly they feed themselves, but in the fall, to make sure, because I steal a bunch of their honey in the late summer, so in the fall I feed them sugar water, and in the spring I feed them sugar water too with some medicine in it just to make sure that they don't get sick. And I haven't had to, but sometimes you might have to feed them extra pollen or other things or special medicines. but mostly just sugar water, and most of the time they feed themselves.
Can we have some honey, please?
Sure!
Thank you.
Some for you.
Buzz goes the bumblebee, a tweedledee goes the bird. But the sound of your little voice, darling, is the sweetest sound I've ever heard. Well, I've seen the beauty of the rainbow.
Help!
Seen the beauty when the sky is
Help,
blue.
Zebra.
Seen the beauty of the evening sunset. But the beauty of you, sweet is the honey from the honeycomb. Sweet are the grapes from the vine. But there's nothing as sweet as you, darling. And I hope someday you'll be mine.
That's the feeder, so there's sugar water in there. I'll show you. I have a couple more of those.
Did you cut? Oh, smoke is coming out.
Yeah, that's what I do. We got some, that's right, this one's got some honey in it left from last year. And this side has a bunch of pollen.
Let me see. That's where they put it in. These
Yeah.
fly over and they.
Yeah, they just pack it in there,
I
and
think
what they'll
there's one
do
right there.
is usually,
It probably came in on my hair.
I think so, they'll nest, they'll lay the eggs in the middle, and then they'll feed them from the outside.
But there's nothing as sweet as you, darling. And I hope someday you'll be mine. And I hope someday you'll be mine. And I hope someday you'll be mine.
Or you can do it sometimes during the year too. You take out the combs, and then you use this, it's a heated knife, to cut the wax off the front, because they actually put wax on top of it when the honey's all done. So you cut it off and let it just drip into there, and then the frames of honey you put into here and spin it. It's a centrifuge. And the honey spins out, and it comes out of here, and you filter it into a bucket.
Well, I've seen the beauty of the red, red rose. Seen the beauty.
And then there was a cap on it, and there was a can of syrup, and so all the bees were just in here, and then the queen was in her own little separate cage. So then when I got them, I took them and I shook them over that hive and got them all in there, and then I took the queen and put her in there. Sometimes honey will turn to sugar, but if you start it with with the honey that's turned but crushed, so it's little crystals, and then you put that in with some regular honey, it'll turn into this, which is called creamed or whipped honey. And it's just like honey, it tastes pretty much the same, and it's just turned to this, so so you can spread it on things a little easier. Some people like it. It's kind of a fancy kind of honey.
Goes a bird with the sound of your little voice.
Thank you, Uncle Chris, for painting out that your.
You're welcome. It was fun.